Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So tonight, of course, let's talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin holders like Saylor, who is going to get the last laugh. But also, I want to talk about Voyager. There is a connection between Voyager and Celsius. So it may turn out that $500 million loan from FTX may not be enough. So what's that all about? And other crypto news. So let's get started. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell to get notified of all my streams. Follow me on social media. Check out CryptosRUs.com. And make sure you follow brand new CryptosRUs Clips channel. Good morning, afternoon, evening. I don't think it's market bell right now. No, it's not. Welcome. Hopefully you guys are doing good today. Things are getting interesting, to say the least. Bitcoin is still holding at 20,000. All right, we'll take that. That's a win, considering U.S. markets just don't know what's going on with U.S. markets, right? This morning it started green, then turned red, green, it ended up even pretty much, and that's because everyone was paying attention to Powell. And when I was streaming this morning, he was talking with the ECB, and this doesn't instill confidence that the Fed could no longer guarantee a soft landing and can no longer guarantee that they can avoid a hard landing. So what does this mean? For months upon months, Fed Chair Powell's been talking about, hey, don't worry about the rate hikes because unemployment is still low. In fact, it's at a 40-year low. The job market is strong. Unemployment is low. So we can increase rates, slow down the economy to fight inflation. Don't worry about it. But now he's acknowledged that there's no guarantee that he can make this happen. Bring down inflation, raising rates, and still preserving low unemployment. This is the first time he has basically acknowledged that, right? So that's not good. That's not good at all. In fact, Anthony Papagliano tweeted this out. Listen to this real quick, okay? This is just like a 2-second clip. So listen to this real quick.
Chair Powell?
One way to say it would be, I think we now understand better how little we understand about
That's
inflation.
not very
Listen again.
One way to say it would be, I think we now understand better how little we understand about inflation.
That's not very reassuring.
No, honestly.
It's like what she said. That's not really reassuring that our Fed chair just came out and said basically how little we understand inflation. So I don't know how we're supposed to take that. Basically, let's go roll the dice and see what happens, right? Like, hey, if all these rate hikes, continue forward and somehow it does bring down inflation without killing unemployment and killing the economy, great. Then it will turn out that it was the right move, or all these moves were right. But if it turns out that we go deep into recession and companies start going belly up and start firing people and unemployment becomes a real problem and starts going up, well, then it turns out all these moves were wrong moves, right? So right now it's like Powell's not as confident as he was before, that's for sure. And this is, of course, us going into July, and we'll have another rate hike. But tomorrow is Thursday, which means we will get some core inflation numbers, right? So tomorrow will be a big day. So it's no surprise that today, basically, there was no movement because everyone wants to know what's going to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow, we will get core PCE inflation numbers, right? Will core inflation go down or will it go up? That is the $1 million question, right? And tomorrow there's a few other economic data like jobless claims and continuing jobless claims, so forth, kind of measuring how employment is overall, right? So tomorrow will be a big day. That's why you guys got to tune in tomorrow. It's going to be a big, big day. All right, what else is there? The other big news today, of course, is the SEC, Gary Gensler, rejects Grayscale Spot Bitcoin ETF. Had this been approved, Bitcoin may have pumped up to 30,000 by now, right? But the SEC rejected it once again. Recently, Gary came out and said, hey, I recognize Bitcoin as a commodity, the only one that's a commodity. But the SEC still states that Grayscale did not address, things like price manipulation, market manipulation, and other concerns, right? Basically, Gary does not want this to go through. So it's bad and it's good. So it's bad because this would have really rallied the market, I believe. And having a spot Bitcoin ETF will bring more money into the space. The good is that now, Grayscale can't convert their trust to a Bitcoin ETF and can't sell off any of the Bitcoin in that trust, right? So that's the good thing. So overall, it's a bad and good situation, right? But Grayscale has said they will do whatever it takes, including suing the SEC, to get this approved. So let's see if that's really going to be the case, if they are going to sue the SEC. It'll be about time because it seems like it's only one-way street. SEC suing everyone, but I haven't heard of anyone suing the SEC. So we'll see what happens, right? So that's the other big news. Unfortunately, good and bad, right? Overall, I say neutral. Overall, I say neutral. There's a lot of people that don't believe that Bitcoin spot ETF will ever come. I'm still clinging on hope. Maybe by the end of the year, maybe next year, but probably not anytime soon. This was the best shot of getting one approved since Grayscale's trust already has 600,000 Bitcoins in it already. All right. Now, the other news, can't take credit for it, but I will explain what has been discovered and kind of dive in a little bit more. All right. Oh, no. First of all, Harmony. The Harmony hack recently. It turns out that it could be the hackers behind Harmony's recent hack could be North Korean hackers. Okay. Which is why they're ignoring that $1 million bounty. So it looks like that's the case, and it's not a surprise because the last big hack, the Axie Infinity Ronin bridge was $600 million. That was also North Korean, right? So it definitely, basically, bottom line is all these crypto projects, right? They better really safeguard their bridges, their smart contracts, their wallets, because you got a whole country that is looking to hack in and steal hundreds of millions of dollars. So it would not be surprising if that's the case. So we'll see. As for Harmony itself, I hope they could pull through, but without this 100 million, without DeFi Kingdoms really shining, they are kind of just stuck in the waters right now, right? Stuck in the mud. So hopefully they could pull through. Now, the other thing I was going to say is, I got to give credit to Alex Savenik. I'm sorry. I can't pronounce that. Okay, but Alex here connected the dots, looking at Celsius's account, their deposit account, and Voyager's account, or I should say wallets, right? And he connected the dots, looking at over the past few years, right, how much Voyager actually deposited into Celsius. And in total, to summarize, you have about 174 million in USDC, 65,000 ETH, plus various other crypto. You tallied all that up, it's over 250 million, right? So you look at address A, which belongs to Voyager, address B, which belongs to Celsius, and the last deposit was about 47 days ago. But you can see some of these, quite a lot. 137 days ago, it seems like there was a deposit of 100 million USDC. You got a lot of Matic here. You go back before quite a lot of ETH and USDC. I mean, this goes back all the way to about 700 days ago, which, roughly 2 years, right? So yeah, that's not good at all. So I decided to kind of like poke in a little bit more here and look at the addresses, right? So this is the address that belongs to. Let me pull this up here. So this is the address that belongs to Celsius, and you could see it does. You can verify a lot of these inflows. Like, for example, here's one of 50,000 Ether. That's a huge inflow, right? Here's a 15,000 Ether. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here, right? And it seems like they're all being sent to the Celsius Wallet 5. I don't know where that is, but it's another maybe cold wallet, right, or something like that. And this is Voyager's. This is Voyager's wallet. And approximately in here, according to Etherscan, there's about $160 million worth of assets in this wallet, okay? And that $160 million is important, and here's why. Remember recently, Voyager took out a $500 million loan, right? $500 million. Three Arrows Capital borrowed about $666 million. What is the difference? About $166 million, right? So, do they have $166 million? Well, yeah, because according to this address, they have $160 million, right? With today's decline, maybe that's why there's $6 million lost, but it actually makes sense that they actually have $160 million, right? But they had to take out the $500 million to cover the $666 million. Now, some people say, well, Voyager already came out and said, no, they already withdrew everything, right? Like they want to distance themselves away from Celsius. So this was actually posted 2 weeks ago, June 14th. But you got to read this carefully because this is what they say. Although Voyager announced a prior partnership with Celsius in 2019, due to the company's ongoing due diligence and risk management process, Voyager currently has no customer assets at Celsius, right? Okay, so they said, but here's the thing. Here's the important thing, right? No customer assets at Celsius. No customer assets. But what about their own assets, right? Who knows if they got funding before or they have their own assets, that could be part of the $250 million that is left on Celsius, right? So bottom line is this, if you're a crypto analysis company, I'm sure you could dig in these addresses a lot more than I can by using my eye test, right? But if you look at it, there's definitely a connection and there's definitely a way. I mean, this PR was worded a certain way, right? So bottom line, Voyager could be in a lot more debt than they have indicated with just Three Arrows Capital. If this is true, and I'm not saying it's 100% true, I can't verify 100%. Maybe they did withdraw and none of this is real. But there's definitely a connection, and the two definitely did have a relationship. And it does look like there was a massive amount of crypto that was deposited in Celsius, probably to earn yield. And part of the reason why Voyager can offer yield is because they deposited with Celsius, right? So just to throw that out there, trying to connect the dots. Can't say 100% for sure that this is happening, but just want to let you guys know. And just be careful, right? Be careful. Everything that's happening right now, what we're hearing about Voyager, of course, what we're hearing about Celsius, what we're hearing across the industry, right? Be very careful with your crypto, okay? Be very careful with crypto. And, if you guys wanted to, you could look at the addresses yourself. There's a lot of addresses, and a lot of it, once deposited into Celsius, goes into another Celsius called Celsius 5. And if you look in Celsius 5, almost all the funds are gone. So I don't know where it left from Celsius 5 to wherever, right? So you could do your own research too. But I'm sure a crypto analysis firm could definitely pinpoint a lot better with their software. So just be careful. And something else, about CoinFLEX. Supposedly they're going to open up withdrawals tomorrow. Now their CEO says we're not going to open withdrawals. So again, you just got to be careful right now. No one knows. What's going to happen. CoinFLEX says they're missing $47 million from Roger Ver, and Roger Ver is not answering, right? So, yeah, you just don't know. Gerard, before it passes, I work in incident response at a major exchange. We deal with North Korean intrusion attempts every day. If you work at a crypto company, you're on a North Korean list. Do your effing due diligence and secure your networks. Thanks, George. Thanks for that, Gerard. But yeah, that pretty much confirms that, yeah, North Koreans are trying to hack every project, every bridge, every smart contract, right? Be careful. At this point in time, man, you just don't know. All right. Now, as for some good stuff, right? Yeah, I mean, this is all a lot of fun, a lot of scariness going on. What about some good stuff? All right, let's talk about good stuff. Well, CZ basically summarized Bitcoin holders, right? He was referring to Michael Saylor. A lot of people are turning against Saylor, thinking that he is too bullish. He has screwed up, right? And his Bitcoin strategy is not working, right? But CZ reminds people, many may laugh at him now, but Saylor will get the last laugh in time. Bookmark this tweet. And CZ has experience. He has gone through it, probably a lot more than a lot of people. Because if you research his history, very early on, he sold his house, he quit his job, he bought all this Bitcoin with his person, with everything he had, right? People laughed at him then, and look at him now, like someone that's worth even more than Michael Saylor. So CZ may be the richest guy in crypto. I mean, honestly, outside of maybe Satoshi, he may be the richest guy in crypto right now because of stake in Binance, because of his personal holdings, which no one knows how much he really has. But he sold everything before it got in, right? So he knows from experience, right? Bitcoin holders will get a last laugh. You just have to hold on and have patience because you will get rewarded, right? So that is true. This is a really easy way to look at what's happening with money, right? Basically, you think there's a lot of check and balances, but really, the Federal Reserve, they just kind of circumvent, and you get a lot of money printed. That's why we have our circulation, USD circulation is $4 trillion higher than 2 years ago. That's why we have inflation. That's why you have Fed Chair Powell now not knowing what to do, right? A lot of uncertainty out there. And the one certainty is Bitcoin. That's why Bitcoin was created, to give the power back to the people so that we don't have to rely on people that really doesn't know what's going on anymore, right? So that's why you want to be a long-term holder. That's why the Bitcoin holders will get a last laugh. And then as for some short-term stuff, obviously there's a lot of metrics, models, a lot of stuff out there measuring oversold levels, measuring where we are now, measuring a lot of stuff, okay? And you know what? A lot of stuff indicates that, yeah, we are definitely oversold. We are definitely nearing bottom. And we are definitely at a point where it's awesome to be picking up, including if you look at exchanges, you look at Bitcoin reserves, no matter how you slice it. Doesn't matter if you look at Crypto Quant or Glassnode, you'll notice that the number of Bitcoins outflowing from the exchanges is increasing more and more and more, right? The outflow right now is higher than it's ever been, right? So you definitely have a lot of people that believe that is still holding strong, DCAing, and there's a ton of people just simply removing their crypto or removing their cash, I have to say, and buying crypto with that cash. So these are all fantastic things to focus on. Why we need to stay strong, stay together, and focus on the future together. But in the meantime, yeah, still a lot of scary stuff from the SEC, from Fed Chair Powell, from all these crypto projects that still seem to have all these dirty laundry that's coming up, right? It's scary, but we'll get through it together. All right, guys, let's do some Q&A. A lot of people talking about Tether. They're supposed to have their audit. I don't know when is it, but it's supposed to be soon. They will basically confirm whether or not they have 66.7 billion in cash reserves. If they do, well, then it's good. If they don't, then it's bad. But yeah, I agree with people in the live chat. If Tether goes belly up, if there's a massive bank run on Tether and you see every exchange, every individual try to withdraw their Tether or try to convert it for USD and they can't and it goes belly up, you're going to see half the exchanges out there right now basically die. Tether used to post a rich list and I remember looking at it. Like Binance had several billion. Every exchange has several billion of Tether, basically, right? That's how they're able to offer their trading pairs. They need to have Tether on hand, which means that if there's ever a bank run and they need to convert that Tether back to cash and they can't, a lot of exchanges will go under. Only the biggest will probably survive, but even many big ones will probably go under too. So that is one thing that we don't wish upon, okay? That Tether somehow goes belly up. Slowly or surely, what I like to see is just someone like USDC gain strength, which they have been, and just slowly overtake Tether to the point where Tether becomes irrelevant and starts dying down, right? But what we don't want to see is someone like Tether just declare one day they're insolvent, and then you're going to have so many exchanges become insolvent, and then it's going to be mass panic. All right, so let's hope that never happens. Let's see here. Shout out from Philippines, Joshua. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, today's DCA day. Thoughts on nulls? Do you stake your nulls on chain? Mark, unfortunately, I don't follow nulls these days. Haven't for quite some time, so can't really tell you what's been going on with the project. You know, I liked what they were doing before. They had fantastic technology, but they kind of swayed away from what they were doing, lost a lot of traction. I know that they're still working at it. They still have like Twitter Spaces, these Q&A sessions. They're still doing a lot of stuff, but really have not been keeping up with them. So let's see. Let's bring up my portfolio here. Last week I added $300 because I missed out on 2 weeks, right? So this week, it's still at negative 51%. Last week is negative 51%. And just so you know, I built this approximately about 1 year ago. So obviously not a good look right now, right? But if you go back, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, Bitcoin is much higher. Obviously this last year, especially the last 6 months, have been brutal, right? But irrelevant. I'm going to keep DCAing because I'm going to prove to you guys this will work. DCAing over long haul will work. It always works. You just have to have patience and keep going. And making sure you pick on the right project. If you're just DCAing only into, I don't know, CERN Labs, or you're DCAing into Celsius tokens, you're probably not going to do well in the future, right? But last week I added a whole bunch of L1s, including Bitcoin. Right now, I think, I'm just going DCA into Bitcoin. Nothing special, right? Right now, you can't go wrong adding Bitcoin to your portfolio, especially at these prices. This is something that Michael Saylor wishes he can do. Unfortunately, he bought a majority of his Bitcoins higher, right? But even today or yesterday, he bought another $10 million worth. That's the right way to do it. You do it, you buy over long haul, right? You buy the dip and you continue forward. So what is $100 divided by 20,000? So you got 0.005. There you go. Nothing fancy, just adding another $100 worth of Bitcoin. That's it. All right. That is DCA for this week. Add some Luxo. I have not kept up with Luxo. I've been waiting for them to release their chain forever. I still don't know if they released it. Fabian, he used to be a main developer for Ethereum. He created a ERC20 standard. He created Luxo or Luxo, however you pronounce it. It was very promising. But then it took forever to come out the chain. And they're really marketing towards like a chain for luxury goods. So that's a little strange too. I don't know if they ever came out their chain. Good idea to buy some Chainlink. You can't go wrong on Chainlink. Chainlink is definitely oversold. It's not a very sexy project. I always say that because it's an oracle for most projects. It provides data feeds for projects, especially DeFi, right? So it's not something that's very sexy, but they will be introducing staking soon. And that will be a big thing for them. Just think about it. Right now, no one could stake. And pretty soon, you could stake Link and earn some rewards. That'll be pretty big for them. Algorand just announced some Napster development. I heard about that before. They're trying to get into digital music. It's not just them. It's Algorand partnered up with someone else. I think Sony or someone that's trying to get into music. Napster, I don't think even most young people don't know anything about Napster. Only us old folk know about it. So I don't know if that's actually really going to help them get more attention. JG said Luxo is in the testnet phase. Okay, so it's better than nothing, but that chain has been, for a long. We've been waiting for it for a long time. If he could come out, he is working on a new standard. If he could come out with a new standard that'll make minting NFTs really easy, because I think the whole purpose of it is to utilize a new standard for NFTs. It could be big for them, but they got to finish it. See how VGX did today and why? No. Why is because whales are pumping it. All right. All these projects that are basically having problems or have become insolvent, they're having their coins pumped. Don't let that fool you. It's not because there's some good news. It's whales that's driving things up. And they want people to buy in, and then they will dump on everyone's heads. Bobby, you know better. You've been watching me for a while, right? Don't let that fool you. Just this morning, someone connected the dots, and I shared with you guys, right? Why is Luna Classic pumping? Well, it turns out most of the volume is on KuCoin. And guess what? One of the big investors of KuCoin, Neo Capital, happens to be a main investor in several projects that have gone under or insolvent, like Babel, and I believe what's the other one that they were in, right? I don't remember anymore. I just covered it this morning, but I don't think it's a coincidence that this Neo Capital that has now lost a ton of money with some of the projects they invested in, right? Like all of a sudden, you now see like Luna Classic pumping, and no, it's not because it's going to come back. It's not because there's new development. It's not because Do Kwon is coming back and supporting Luna Classic. Right now, no one even knows who's supporting Luna Classic. It's just a bunch of bots on Twitter saying, yeah, go buy it. No one knows who's supporting it. Who's going to continue development? Are there any dApps on board? The answer is no. But I would not be surprised if Neo Capital or other whales are pumping it just because they can, and they're trying to recoup money for other projects they have lost out on. So don't fall for these whale games. because, yeah, they're just meant to trick you. That's all. Zach. Now that SEC has denied the ETF for Grayscale, Grayscale plans on suing SEC. They might actually have a solid case. Gensler has to prove it has not done out of fear, and he has solid reasons. Thoughts? It's hard to sue a government agency. That's my opinion. Just because they sue doesn't mean that they have to have a really solid case, and they have to convince a judge that I mean, and I say they meaning Grayscale. They have to convince a judge that the SEC is really, done this out of fear or done this for some bad reason, right? It's going to be tough. They're all kind of buddies. I'm sure the SEC knows a lot of judges and has a lot of pull, right? So I don't know. I don't know if it's going to amount to anything. It might just be a big time waster. So I don't have high hopes for Grayscale suing the SEC over this. Do you ever see ETH losing his number 2 spot anytime soon? At one point in time, I thought BNB would overtake them because BNB was rising up to I forgot, they were really close to ETH. And I thought because the way Binance Chain is going and because of how big Binance is, that would happen. But no, NFT seems like really, and DeFi really got popular with ETH and really drove them upwards. But right now, I don't see anyone surpassing Ethereum in market cap, other than if we have a horrible crash and Ethereum market cap drops in half and somehow Tether and USDC goes above them. But outside of that, I think they're a pretty solid number 2 for quite some time. Someone's asking me, do I have OnlyFans? I've thought about it. Maybe when I lose some real weight and get real buff and sexy, then maybe. Grayscale probably has more money than the SEC. I'm sure they do, but when it comes to these government agencies, they tend to protect their own, right? If they didn't, you'll have frivolous lawsuits left and right, and they probably couldn't operate with how much lawsuits they have. Not to say that that's a good reason, but I just don't see Grayscale being able to sue their way into getting a Bitcoin spot ETF approval. I just don't see that. Maybe it'll happen. Maybe they'll do it anyways and drag it on for years just to put pressure on SEC. It could happen, but I just don't see it amounting to anything, at least short term. Did I see the Ionic 6? Yes, except it's sedan. And I think sedans need to go away. Honestly, if you're in the U.S., you're American, you want an SUV. No one wants to buy a sedan anymore. So they need to make that into an SUV. That's my thoughts. I haven't seen everything, but yeah. Zach says Gary Gensler needs to go. I don't know if we're going to do better. If we replace him with someone else, I don't know if they're going to be any better. Honestly, I don't know. How is the ETH merge good for ETH? It makes it a little bit more scalable. It makes it more energy efficient. And it sets them up for scaling, which can't be done with ETH 1.0 right now. So, yeah. Jeremy, is Celsius and 3 Arrows the last 2 instances to go down, or is this the beginning? I like to think that this is the end, but if the economy really gets bad, gets much worse than now, we go in deep recession, we'll probably see more. We'll probably see more companies go down. Now, I did have a good talk with my rep at BlockFi because people have been asking me, well, what do you think about BlockFi? I did have good talk with them. And maybe in the future, I could bring Zach on, who's the co-founder of BlockFi. Right now, it seems like they're stable. They are not insolvent. Okay, this is according to what I'm hearing. So if they do tomorrow say they're insolvent, don't blame me. This is I'm just passing on the word. But it seems like they have not made the same mistakes that Celsius made or Voyager has made. They have taken collateral for basically every loan that they have given out, right? That $250 million from FTX is more of a safeguard in case they need it, but they're not anticipating that they will need it. So they seem like they're still okay, legit. But with that said, like I've been saying, doesn't matter who it is right now, right? You just got to be careful with your funds. So even with exchanges, if you want to make a trade, go ahead and make the trade, but maybe pull out afterwards, right? Maybe move your crypto out and into a wallet afterwards. Right now, it's just a really iffy time to be leaving crypto on any centralized platform that you don't control. And I know that's hard because a lot of people just keep everything on the exchange because if you want to trade, you want to do whatever, it's really simple, right? But you don't want to be in a situation like where your funds are just locked up on Celsius or your withdrawals are limited like Voyager, stuff like that. I haven't talked to ITrustCapital. I tend to think ITrustCapital is it's not in the same realm. They don't promise. They don't give out rewards. They don't give out interest. They're a 401k provider. So, and I'm sure there's a lot of regulations around that. I honestly haven't talked to them recently. I plan on doing so, but they're not in the same realm. Like any company that's offering interest, they're more in danger because how are they offering the interest? Probably because they put the crypto into, they either loan it out or they put it into DeFi projects, right? But if you're like a regular company, most likely you're not in the same kind of, you don't have to take the same kind of risks, let's just say. Chainlink got listed on Robinhood, didn't move much. Right now what it seems like is FTX wants to buy everything. I think Robinhood eventually will sell to FTX. I think Voyager is going to sell to FTX. I think everything's going to sell to FTX. They're in a position to really just dominate the market and become like Citadel of crypto. That's what it's looking like right now. Have I been DCing? Yes, I have been. I have been. Slowly but surely, I'm making sure I have still a lot of cash on hand, between that 25-30%, right? DCing when I can, DCing, right? Slowly, not going all in. Just that's the way to do it. The main things I've learned from previous crypto winters and corrections, right? Don't run out of money. That's important. DCA slowly, right? But continue to DCA no matter what, especially the times where it looks very bad. It's very hard. It's very painful. Especially those times, you should be DCAing because those are usually the times when things turn around, right? So those are things I've learned over the years, things I'm doing, things I'm helping you guys understand, hopefully. Crypto Wraith, I love you. Maybe a little too much. TMI? No, I'm just kidding. How could a wallet of trust be compromised? Someone hack into the wallet to steal our crypto. Someone like Trust Wallet, there's two ways to compromise. Number one is if your phone somehow gets compromised because your private key is stored within your phone. So there's that. So you got to safeguard your phone, and you don't want to download some virus. Number two is they tell you the recovery phrase, right? So when you're writing that down, make sure you're putting it somewhere that is not going to be compromised because the recovery phrase is the most important thing. As the wallet itself, the phone itself could be destroyed, lost, stolen, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's the recovery phrase. So if you simply write on a piece of paper and leave it on your desk, someone could take that and just recover your wallet on another phone and take your crypto, right? If you put that recovery phrase on, say, I don't know, Dropbox or Box, right? And you have a really bad password and hackers hack in your computer or hack in your account and get that recovery phrase, you're screwed. So where you store that recovery phrase is the most important thing. Not the wallet itself, not the phone itself. It's the recovery phrase. So make sure you safeguard that with your life, basically. Does Coinbase have a recovery phrase? Coinbase wallet does. Coinbase itself does not. There's a big difference there. Coinbase wallet, the mobile app, it is actually a non-custodial wallet, meaning it stores the recovery phrase, the recovery key in the phone, and it gives you that recovery phrase. But if you have your crypto on Coinbase, that's a different story. They control it. They just give you access to it. But ultimately, they can take it away from you if they wanted to. Do you think it's possible for Coinbase to go down? Anything's possible, but it's very, very unlikely in my opinion. Coinbase has been around for a long time. They have more crypto than anyone realizes. All these OTC trades mostly come from Coinbase. They got so much. And they're collecting millions of dollars of fees every single day. So their demise is greatly exaggerated. So I think it's very unlikely. Very unlikely. Zach, yes, I already mentioned that. I think it's big whale manipulation. Companies that are trying to recoup funds from other, insolvent companies. I think that's part of it. I actually don't use Coinbase. I got banned from Coinbase years ago, and I have no idea why. And they still don't allow me to create an account. Not that I want an account on Coinbase, but I can't log in or do KYC because whenever I do, they just ban it. And they don't give a reason why. So I have no idea. No idea. All right, guys. That is it. Overall, Bitcoin is holding strong above 20,000. Powell kind of admitted he could no longer guarantee a soft landing. He also admitted he doesn't really understand inflation. I mean, that's bottom line. That's what he said. We understand how little we understand inflation. So hopefully, he's not setting us on a path to destruction, right? Let's just keep our fingers crossed. Let's see what happens. Tomorrow we're going to get some core inflation numbers. So make sure you tune in early, 8:15 a.m., and let's see what happens. But ultimately, there's a connection here right now between Voyager and Celsius and everyone else that's having problems. They all seem to be tied somehow, right? And I don't know if Voyager truly lost that $250 million that they have deposited or they have recovered it. But right now, people are putting 1 and 1 or 2 and 2 together, and it definitely looks like they have done so in the past. So we'll see. I'm sure there's going to be more developments. Now that this is out, people are going to study the wallets, study the addresses, and they're going to get to the bottom of it. But it doesn't look good right now, right? So be safe, be careful, safeguard your own crypto, and more importantly, stay strong, all right? We will get through this together. Bitcoin holders, we'll get that last laugh, right? It's the last man standing gets the biggest laugh, right? The longer you hold, the more you'll do better. So, all right, guys, smash a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow, like I said, 8:15 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.